Your Minnesota Vikings need to find themselves some wide receiver depth this season to work with Justin friggin' Jefferson. And yes, enter one Rashod Bateman. Head into year 3 of his NFL career. The former Golden Gopher superstar, back in the day, is currently beefing with his team and his general manager specifically. So it's combine week, so GMs, head coaches all speak with the media. And Eric DeCosta, who was Ozzie Newsome's handpicked successor in Baltimore, it's not going well. Really isn't, especially in the wide receiver department. So, the Ravens have tried to find a stud receiver. They spent draft capital. Bateman was a first-round pick, but things just haven't clicked for a myriad of reasons. And I don't think that it is certainly all on the players, although DeCosta sort of threw his guys under the bus. So this is what he said. Sarah Ellison, go. Eric DeCosta on problems drafting wide receivers. If I had to answer, that would probably mean I would have some better receivers. We're going to keep swinging. And the rest of the quote is really immaterial. So, but that's the key right there. If I had an answer for why we keep drafting crappy receivers, we would have some better receivers. And you would think that the receivers that he's drafted, especially one still on the rooster, would have an issue. And by God, that's Rashod Bateman's music. So he tweeted this out, recently deleted it. But quote tweeted that, how about you played your player's strengths and stop pointing the finger at us and number 8, Lamar Jackson. Blame the one you let do this. Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, who mutually parted ways. We take heat 24/7 and keep us healthy. Care about us and see what happened. Ain't no promises, though. Tired of y'all lying and capping on players for no reason. And he does have a point where, I mean, what did Eric DeCosta think was going to happen? Like the blowback on his comments, I mean, sure. I mean, they are what they are. But how did he think for a second that this wasn't going to look bad and there wasn't going to be any backlash? And Bateman certainly has a point. And, guys like Hollywood Brown, who was a high draft pick of the Ravens back in the day, and then they got traded to the Cardinals. He backed him up on social media as well. But long story longer, is Rashod Bateman unhappy in Baltimore? Bring him on in. Vikings need to trade for Rashod Bateman. Let's talk about him today. Background, only 23 years young, 6'1", $197, former 4-star recruit from Tifton, Georgia. Took his talents to the Gophers. Big time get for PJ. 2019 as a sophomore was his breakout season. 60 catches for 1,219 yards receiving, 11 touchdowns. First team All Big Ten. Was named Big Ten Receiver of the Year. 2020 was a weird COVID season, so that's whatever. But then his scouting report heading into the 2021 draft from Lance Zierlein. Draft projection, rounds 1 to 2, Michael Gallup. Overview. Intriguing outside target with combination of size and build-up speed. His flashes of eye-opening production were counterbalanced by inconsistency against stronger, more talented opponents. Has clever press release, but needs to eliminate some waste of motion and play quicker to make up for his average explosiveness off the line. Rude. Bateman plays with pro-ready hands and the upper body agility needed to adjust in air and bring the ball in. He needs to play with grit in contested catch battles and do a better job defending catch space. There are pro traits to mold, but much more work is needed before he can safely projected as a good NFL starter. Well, Bateman ended up being a first-round pick by the Ravens, number 27 in 2021. Tested well at the combine, ran a 4.43 40, and he's, there's no other way to cut it. Like, he struggled through his first 2 seasons. Injury issues, was slowed by a groin injury at the start of his rookie year, and then a foot issue only allowed him to play 7 games in 2022. And of course, the Ravens offense is just like the desert for wide receivers. It's where they go to die. And part of that is on Greg Roman. Sure. I mean, could you put some of that on Lamar Jackson as well? Maybe. But, I mean, the receivers, just for whatever reason, like, it's tough to emerge in Baltimore. Through 2 seasons, he has 61 catches, 800 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns on 96 targets. So certainly not the start of the career that he wanted, but he certainly does have a ton of potential, especially to be that wide receiver 2, which would be phenomenal opposite of Justin friggin' Jefferson. So, trade time. Bateman and a 7th for Thielen and Dalvin Cook. That's right. You have an established wide receiver 2 in Thielen, and also they could use some running back help because whatever's going on with J.K. Dobbins, that ain't working, man. They ain't working. So the Vikings will get some potential in Bateman and also rid themselves of some veteran contracts, but guys who can still play, and the Ravens can add them to the mix and then go from there. I think it's a win-win. And receiver depth right now, you do have Justin freaking Jefferson at 1. KJ's in the mix. Thielen, Jalen Naylor, the 2 Jalens, Naylor and Rager. And then also Tristan Jackson, Blake Pearl, Thomas Hennigan. But we've been saying that the Vikings need to find a Robin to Justin Jefferson's Batman. But how about a Bateman to Justin Jefferson's Batman? Could work out that way. I really hate that I love that joke so much. But anyways, I digress. It's clear that Bateman and the Ravens are having issues, and the Ravens franchise altogether is having some issues. Those NFLPA rankings gave them an F- in terms of strength coaches. It's kind of telling, and a lot of Ravens players have come out on social media just really rallying against the Ravens this week. But Bateman is certainly joining them, and he seems unhappy. And why not join up with one of the best offenses in the game, can play with one of the best receivers in the game. Kirk Cousins like to distribute the football and spread the love, so bring it on in. That's right, Bateman. Let's go. Your thoughts are thoughts. The Vikings need to trade for Ravens wide receiver Rashod Bateman. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.